What's up, everybody? Eric Kummel, Matt Hempstead, and we got another episode of 5v5 Live for you today. What a show it is! More rankings. We did support and jungle already, so today is top, mid, and AD carry.
3 of them. And it's an extra special episode today because Matt is wearing a hat.
That doesn't mean anything.
It's a big episode.
Wow, I know.
Yeah.
See, it's cold outside, so sometimes you wear a winter hat, and it completely screws up your hair.
You don't have much hair to screw up, luckily.
Oh, it happens. It happens. Before we get to anything rankings related, Eric, we need to have a quick discussion. We were talking about it before the show. You played Grounders. I played Sandman.
I didn't think you'd actually bring this
in school. It's important.
Okay.
So, you know that game you guys played back in like grade school, jungle gyms and all that stuff? Did you call it Grounders or Sandman? You let us know. We have an argument to settle.
Or other.
Or
That's
other.
An option.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear other names.
When you scream, it's called other.
Other.
Other!
That's terrifying.
You're it. Yeah.
It's definitely called Grounders, though.
Sandman. Anyway, let's get to our first topic of the day.
Yeah.
Before we get to the rankings, Snowdown Showdown is here. Woo! Wow. They made the map all pretty, all wintry. There's Christmas stuff.
New music.
New music, yeah. Some new skins, some new missions, a lot of new stuff. So, good job, Brad. One thing that came back that was already here from last year was the Poro King, the worst game mode to ever exist in League of Legends history, where it's ARAM, but there's this giant white piece of garbage just screwing around in there trying to kill your turrets. I hate that game mode.
Yeah.
With a passion. Eric, what do you think?
It ruins a perfectly good game of ARAM. There's no reason. I played it maybe twice in a row when it was like still new a couple years ago, and I was like, this is too much. I'm never gonna play this game mode again. I hope they never bring this game mode back. And here it is. I mean, everyone just wants URF. Anytime you bring a new game mode, either have something completely new, like they did with the whole Star Guardian stuff, which was actually a pretty fun game mode. I like that, so kudos to you, Riot. So either do something completely new, or just do URF. Everyone likes URF anyways. Why change?
No, well, I think they did at least bring back all random URF, so it's not all bad. To go along with Poro King, the worst game mode ever. Don't play it. Tell Riot it sucks.
Tell them. Write them an email.
Also released in that Riot Bliss video, talking about a new way to play competitive if you're not an actual pro player, called The Clash, which is kind of cool.
Great band.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a very interesting concept, and I don't know if people here played Warcraft 3 back in the day, but they had a kind of tournament mode that was just kind of scheduled. It was like at 7 p.m. tonight, there's going to be a tournament, and pretty much anyone can enter, and you compete. There were probably no prizes because it was Warcraft 3, but I think it's kind of going like that. I don't know how scheduled these games are going to be for these tournament things, but it's cool that you're going to get all these stats about your matchups, about the different teammates that you're going to be playing against, or opponents you're going to be playing against. The main thing with this mode is, if you can only get it through Riot points, then it's stupid. It's very stupid. If you can grind your blue essence and actually have something to put it towards, if you have all the champions already, then it's great. But if it's just RP, nah, that's a bad taste.
Yeah, I miss the old days where it was its own queue, ranked 5's queue, just go in and hope for the best. But now it's actual like tournament based. You can only play it during limited times. So get your group 5 together, get practicing, because there's some stuff you can win. At least there's actual prizes and whatnot for these things. So you have to pay to enter, whether it's blue essence, RP, whatever. We'll wait and see, but it's kind of cool to bring back ranked 5s for people who aren't in that pro tier.
It's and like to get rid of smurfing, it sounds like they're going to try this. You have to sign up with a phone number to confirm per account. So if you're coming in with a smurf, you're going to need a new phone number, which is not that hard to do. Whoever you're smurfing for, you say, tell me the code from your phone that you're about to get. It's not that hard to get around that, but I mean, it is definitely a start. That'll probably knock down some of the smurfing.
A little bit. But yeah, I think the coolest part of the Clash is you can actually scout your upcoming opponents and stuff, see what they like to pick, and then you just target ban them.
People do that in solo queue nowadays too. They message you in champ select. Why aren't you playing this champion? You have a 60% win rate with them. And you're like, I don't want to play him.
Get off my op.gg,
yeah.
You creepy bastard.
You should be able to put privacy settings on your op.gg. That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, that's kind of the new stuff coming. Some people like Poro King. That's fine. You're allowed to like it. Eric and I just hate it with a passion. But you do you.
Fiery passion, too. I would just rather play a normal game of ARAM.
Yes. Or Summoner's Rift.
Wait, yes.
Yes.
On the ARAM map, I just want A rank.
That's it. You already have snowballs. You don't need the Poro as well.
No.
No, that's too much.
I usually don't even get the snowballs.
I know. All right, it's rankings time. You ready, Eric?
Hold up. Okay.
Should we do our quick disclaimer?
It might need to be more than quick. It might need to be thorough
lengthy
to cover all bases here. So go ahead.
You want the honor?
No. Go ahead.
These are our rankings for what we think the outcome of the 2018 NA LCS spring split will be. So after the split is over, this is what we think it'll look like position by position. So we already did support and jungle, and now we're gonna do starting with top.
It is not current. This as well, the 3 we're about to show you, as well as the 2 we already did in jungle and support, they are not current rankings that we believe. This is what we believe people will be saying and talking about towards the end of the spring split. And we'll revisit these rankings as the season goes on. You'll kind of we'll look at them and be like, wow, we were so wrong. We're so stupid. Can't believe we got that wrong. But right now, we can't be stupid yet because we don't know what the split is going to foretell. Is foretell a word?
It is now.
All right.
But yeah, these are projections.
Yes.
Projections, not current. We are not saying X is the best top laner right now. No.
But they will be.
Right.
At the end of the split. That was a good disclaimer.
Not bad. Not bad. We'll have scrolling text on the VOD after.
Yes.
All right. Let's start with you, Eric.
Is mine are better?
As always, you like to say that at the beginning of every ranking. Yes,
That's
yours
right.
are better.
Okay, the key is to have themes with these kind of things. I got Huni in that top lane.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
this guy, ever since he burst on the scene with Fnatic, I know he didn't get much playing time in summer with SKT, but he was the second best player at Worlds for SKT, at least in the knockout stage. The group stage, Bang was fine. But in the knockout stage, Huni was the second best player on SKT. This guy has dominated EU and NA in that top lane. And in spring LCK, he was fantastic on SKT. He's going to come in here and be super solid in NA. And if that duo with him and Dardoch works out, and I think it will work out to some degree, then they're going to dominate top side of the map. Someday in Haunter, I feel like you could almost interchange them in that 2-3 spot, both super solid. Darshan's a guy who had a lot of kills last year with CLG. Maybe people think I got him a little too high above guys like Impact and Flame, but I think he's going to emit more pressure for CLG than a guy like Impact or Flame. Licorice, unproven commodity, but he's ahead of 3 guys on this list, and I think that's just because of the team that he's on. He's not going to have to really carry a lot of these games, and he's not going to have a whole lot of pressure on his lane. I mean, guys like Jensen, Sneaky, and Smoothie are going to be drawing a lot of jungle attention, so he's going to have more free reign than a lot of these other guys. And the bottom 3, Solo's got to be last because he's an unproven commodity, and on not as good a team as C9 and Zig and Lorlo, you could probably flip-flop.
Why so low?
Because he's probably the worst.
Okay. It's a good reason.
That's why.
That's a pretty good reason. Yeah, not a bad list, right?
Thank
Huni
you.
top is,
You like that?
it's not bad.
You like that?
It's got a lot of flair. Obviously, he's been the best top laner in past splits before. So if he can put it together and be consistent in North America, it's definitely possible.
It'll depend a lot on what the meta kind of shapes out to be. If, stuff like Quinn top and these random AD carries top aren't that good, squishy guys. If it's more of a tank meta, then that might be totally different. But yeah, I believe in the holo.
Good for you. You gotta believe in something. Yeah. That sounds like a good thing to believe in. Yeah. All right, we'll hit mine, and we differ a little bit, which is good. Creates conversation because we just don't talk enough on this show.
I do love conversation.
You do love conversation. So I'm going with Someday at the top, along with Haunter. I mean, look, back in 2016 when Huni was back in North America, it was basically him and Haunter just fighting for that top 2 spot consistently. It was those 2 guys. No one else could compete. Impact Darshan on a whole nother level, and it was like Huni and Haunter, top of the KDA, most kills, all that kind of stuff. Biggest gold differential, biggest CS differential. But Someday wasn't around back then.
Nope.
And now he is. And I just think that Someday and Haunter are better tank players than Huni. And on overall consistency basis, I think they take it down. So I'll take the consistency over the upside of Huni, even though I know that he can take over some games. I think Haunter and Someday can do it as well with their TP plays as well and communication. all around. So I'm okay with you putting Huni #1, but I disagree.
I mean, at least he's still meddling on here on these lists, and I'm quite certain he will be the top-ranked Echo Fox player on any of these lists. My boy Darshan down to 5th, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing that's different between your list and mine. Otherwise, it's pretty much similar. I put Impact over Darshan. Darshan sometimes, I don't know, when he's on those carries, he's great and doing his old split push thing. But some other times he looks a little lost on that island with CLG communication. Not always perfect with the rest of the lineup, and it might take some time for him to get things going with Rainover and Biofrost on CLG. And Team Liquid has this brand new roster where it looks like communication is going to be a pretty good thing. Xmithy, P.O.B already have that communication, so put Impact up there in that island. And I'm pretty sure he'll be doing what he did on C9, just being a rock, and then when it comes to teleport plays, he'll be on the ball. But then, look at the bottom. I put Zig over Lorlo, where you had it the other way around. But it's pretty close. Yeah, there's nothing that really makes either guy stand out. I just think that Zig had some more better performances and had that Kled pick that kind of turned around North America for a bit. And then, of course, our boy Solo. Not saying that he's not going to be good. Again, just because you're at the bottom of this list doesn't mean you're a bad player. We forgot that in the disclaimer.
Yeah, that's key.
But it's just, he's going to have a lot to prove on a roster that looks pretty decent. Febivin and the NV3. That's not a bad, got a good ring to it, huh? The NV3. So he'll have to hold his own up in the top lane, and we'll have to see what he can do. But he's just the most unproven guy out of the 10 North American top laners so far.
Yeah, and I think, again, you're basically comparing him to a guy like Licorice as the two guys who have pretty much no LCS experience, next to no LCS experience. And yeah, I think Licorice is just in a better position on Cloud9 than Solo is. But both of those guys, if the team struggles, they're probably the first guys to blame and flame because they're the new guys.
I agree. Let's see what people are saying. Let's see what people think. Eric, are the rankings? Pretty good list. Some people are saying Someday too high, Impact too low for both of us. The thing that people remember about Impact, there's always a recency bias when it comes to results. And obviously you remember C9 at Worlds where he was great. And in playoffs he was great. But in the regular season, this guy has some pretty severe ups and downs. He's not always a stellar player you remember from Worlds. I mean, back in even 2017 spring, it wasn't the best. So
Top Die was a long time ago. That's over a full split ago where he was actually kind of clobbering guys in that top lane. We are far removed from that Impact. I mean, yeah, he's still an amazing tank player, great frontliner, which is what his main role's going to be on this team. But I mean, P.O.B isn't as hard of a carry as some of these other mid laners, so Impact might have to do a little more. I don't know if he'll be able to.
I don't know. I just think Sunday's the best tank player out there. When it comes to the Maokai pick, that's going to be a huge thing coming forward in the preseason patch. Always is. So when those tanks are up and about, Sunday's the guy. He's the man.
He's pretty scary on carries or tanks, and he'll probably get a lot of opportunities on 100 Thieves.
I agree. I agree. He'll be a pretty focal point for carrying, I think, on that roster. So
pretty focal point, yeah.
Pretty focal point. Don't point out when I make.
He's a pretty focal point. He's a pretty man.
Yeah, absolutely. He is. Let's get to the North American mid rankings or the EU mid rankings.
I like that NA EU mids.
Yeah, well, you know, they're mostly European, so you got to put in that little bit.
Yeah, can we just say there are 2 mid laners in this split that were born in North America, playing in the NA LCS?
Yes.
2.
Yeah.
20%.
That's good. Yeah. Good numbers. Good percentage.
Not bad.
As always, Eric, since yours are better, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I mean,
start with yours.
With the NA mid laners, you got to start with a trio of EU mid laners, even though Bjergsen is, again, from NA. He's an EU guy. I got Jensen, #1. I know Bjergsen, MVP, 4-time MVP in the NA LCS. No one else even has 2. But, I mean, Jensen, with the addition of Sven Skaron, I think Cloud9 is going to be playing even more through Jensen in this split. I know they kind of went away from it a bit during the playoffs because that's kind of why they were knocked out by Dignitas. But I feel like they'll kind of have a better grasp on when to play around Jensen and how exactly to do it. And I think he's going to be just dominant like he was in the summer split again. Bjergsen is Bjergsen. He's always going to be, at worst, top 2 mid laner in the region. Then you got Febivin coming in, who, by the way, might have had the best split of EU mid laners last year in the EU LCS. So, I mean, you got to put him near the top coming into this split. Huhi was the best player on CLG last split throughout the playoffs. He carried them to some games in that gauntlet run, and I never thought I'd be saying that he's the best player on CLG, but he has been, and I think he'll continue to. P.O.B. and Power of Evil.
Close.
That was close, yeah. I feel like that one could go either way. Some people probably want Power of Evil even ahead of Huhi, but I think P.O.B. are just on the better team, probably won't have to do as much, not as much pressure on him on that squad, and I think that's why he's slightly ahead of Power Evil, but that one's very close. Ryu and Phoenix. Ryu had some questionable moments last split, but I think with the addition of Prawley on that squad and some vocal guys, I think he'll be back more so to the H2K Ryu. Maybe not as good, but he'll be close. Phoenix, I really have no idea. Maybe he could soar up here and be like 4th or 5th, but I just don't see that happening.
And who's that on the bottom there? Is that High?
Or Fly? Fly, High. I can't really make an argument for High not being 10th. I know his shot calling, it's going to win them games. He's the best shot caller in the history of North America. He very well may be, but he's probably the 10th best mid laner.
Mechanically. Yes. He's not very good. He's shown time and time again that he just loves to fall behind in CS, which, I mean, hard to argue with having those 3 European guys up top. Jensen, Bjerg, P.O.B. I mean, for me, it's pretty much the same thing. Believe it or not, we differ on only one thing, and that's because I put Bjergsen above Jensen. That's the only difference we had.
I mean, you can't really argue. Anytime you're putting Bjergsen at the top, it's hard to make a crazy argument against that or to call you ridiculous.
Yeah, it's the safer pick. I almost put P.O.B. at number 1. I was very close. I think he's going to be a standout on that Clutch Gaming team. I think he'll be a star with Lyra in the jungle, just kind of showing all the support to that mid lane like you kind of see on Cloud9. I think it'll be a pretty mid-centric team with the ball lane holding their own. And then Solo, basically playing solo top. Just being by himself and holding his own in that top lane. Other than that, I pretty much agree with you across the board when it comes to those mid lane rankings.
It does look good.
It's identical, other than Bjergsen and Jensen. I just think Jensen's got that new team that might take some time. I think it was a downgrade at a couple positions. Licorice, obviously not as good as Impact, and then the Svenskeren thing with the brand new jungler. Contracts was an expert at playing around mid. Might take some time for Svenskeren to learn how to play around Jensen as well, whereas Bjergsen, again, I know there's all these changes around him, but teams are going to have to focus at bot lane to a certain degree. Sven and Mythi are going to draw a lot of attention. Otherwise, if they get to that late game team fighting, there's not many better than them. So they're going to target that bot lane, and maybe Bjergsen can be a bit more aggressive and go back to his older ways where he could kind of just dominate the map and roam around and have this huge impact. So that's why I put Bjergsen at number 1. Obviously, it's a safe pick.
So
it's very safe. It's boring, but
yeah,
I think it's correct.
You thought P.O.B. might go number 1, and then you end up dropping him to 3.
Yeah.
What happened?
Again, it's safer. I do think he's got the potential to be number 1 in North America with that roster, but when you look at what Bjergsen has around him, what Jensen has around him, it's tough to put P.O.B. up there in the very first split on this new team. Might take some time, but maybe in summer, he can take that crown.
Yeah, there's a good chance.
Regardless, those 3 European guys.
Yeah, and that, just looking at that mid lane talent pool is absolutely insane. Mostly. I mean, yeah, the bottom 2 or 3 maybe, but I mean, that top 7, top 6. The top 6 is absolutely nutty for this NA LCS season.
Yes, I think Ryu will get back to form too, to be honest with you, with probably as head coach and this new team of positive attitudes with Medios and Aphromoo doing the shot calling.
Yeah!
Let's get him, team. And someday Ryu will have a bit of a connection too, the 2 Korean speakers on this roster. So look for Ryu to maybe take a step up into that rankings as well. So
how long does the positive attitude last? Let's be honest.
0-18,
it's okay that you're 0-5 this game, man. We'll come back. It's cool.
Oh, wait, we lost.
Damn.
Okay.
5 in a row we've lost.
Feels bad.
Lose that pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's a very good point, but I don't think they will. I don't think they'll have that issue.
No. They're a pretty solid squad.
They are. So
Rumored squad.
Rumored squad.
Yeah.
The AD carry still hasn't been announced.
Oh, boy.
But we're getting to that right now.
AD carries.
It's time for the AD carry conversation.
Now, Afro, again, we made a video earlier in the week, did say he kind of spilled a few beans.
Beans everywhere.
Mr. Cody's son. Cody Soon.
Cody
said on his stream that, Cody, blah, blah, blah. He let it slip who the whole roster was, and he said Cody. People are saying, oh, he's just trolling. I don't think he's just trolling.
It was so nonchalant. It'd be so easy to slip. Someone asked him on stream, like, hey, why is no one on 100 Thieves talking about the team? Well, Sunday in Rio or in Korea, and then it's Christmas here in North America. So, me, Medios, and Cody were spending time with family.
Yep.
It wasn't like, it's Cody's son. It wasn't like that.
It wasn't quite like the Shifter Golden Guardians leak. I don't think it was a calculated thing. He just let it slip.
That's it.
That's fine. It's not like it's a juicy leak. Everyone
it's been rumored for months.
Is expecting it to happen.
Yes.
Has it been months?
No, it's been weeks. But
okay. You're just double checking the timelines here.
I exaggerate from time to time. You know how it is. Would you like to show people your AD carry rankings, Eric?
I would love to, actually.
All right. How about we show the people what you got?
Show the people what you got.
Who's that?
Well, it's Christmas season, which means at the top you've got to have Mr. Michael Santana, which, of course, is also referred to as Mr. I'm a Cutie Pie, who currently isn't in the LCS, but if he came in, he'd obviously be the best AD carry in the entire league, right?
Yes, Eric. I'm a Cutie Pie is our Lord and Savior.
That's right. Now's a good time to throw in the disclaimer here. I do not think that I'm a Cutie Pie would be the best AD carry in the LCS if he came in right now, nor do I think he's coming back into the LCS, but you got to give a shout out to our Lord and Savior, Michael Santana. Sven is probably going to be the best AD, along with the best bot lane in NA this split. Sneaky, consistent guy. I mean, last split he actually wasn't that consistent. In the playoffs and Worlds, he really stepped it up, but I think him and Smoothie are going to be a rock 4C9 this split in that bottom lane. Doublelift third there, playing with, he's going to have a new lane partner in Olay. They've never played together, but I think they'll work together pretty well. And I mean, Doublelift, he's been around forever. People are waiting for the big drop off. And again, he's had stretches where he hasn't been great, but at least domestically, he comes up clutch in big games. Maybe not internationally, but domestically, he always shows up. Stixay, I think he had a bit of an off split. He still had some of the best KDA out of all AD carries, but I think bringing in a guy like Biofrost is actually going to help him quite a bit inside during laning phase. During teamfight, Stixay was still fantastic last split. Then you got Cody Sun, who is probably going to be the real 100 Thieves AD carry. Got him right below. This Cody Sun, Altec, and Apollo trio, I feel like you could almost argue in any order there. But you know what? Actually, no. Cody Sun should be at the top of that. People are roasting him because of his Worlds performance and a bit in the playoffs. But I mean, during the regular split, people were saying he's a top 2 AD in the league. So I think people are going a little too hard on Cody Sun here. I think on a new team, he's going to get back to what he was doing in summer. We still haven't seen that much from this guy. He's basically played for a year. So give him a little bit more time. Wild Turtle was the best part of FlyQuest, and that's why he's basically the only person they kept on the roster. And then you got Arrow, former Spring Split MVP. Ninth.
Or 10th on your list.
10th on my list, that's right. And then 11th, we got Deftly. By the way, if this was for real, I would maybe put I'm a Cutie Pie, maybe put him above Deftly, but he's behind everyone else on that list. And that's just because Deftly's an unproven commodity, and Arrow was terrible in laning last split, and he got a support partner that isn't great at laning, so I don't see it working out too well for them.
No, that's my concern with Arrow too. I mean, people are saying you can't disrespect the fact that he was, MVP in 2017 spring, and we're not. He had a great split, but we saw him exposed in the laning phase last year, and then again, like you said, you add Elimination, who's not known as a great laner, into that bot lane, and I just think it's going to be an ugly combination down there. So I wouldn't look at too much improvement on an Optic roster that looks pretty sketchy, other than Power of Evil. So. We'll keep our distance, but I like you putting I'm a Cutie Pie up there at #1. Wow, what a statement! Especially because he's not going to play.
Player in the world.
You got to put someone who's not in the LCS on top of our LCS ranking.
That's right.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And again, I'm a Cutie Pie. Very unlikely.
Very unlikely.
Very unlikely.
But I mean, this guy did get to the TCS championship.
That's a good
final
point.
round. Couldn't come up with the hardware, but
he was inting some of those games too.
Yeah, he was just trolling.
which is a problem.
It would be a problem on the LCS stage, yeah.
But Eric, wasn't he duo queuing with Afromo the other day?
Yes, he was also duo queuing with Afromu in 2013. So
the long con.
they've been doing with each other for a pretty long time.
That's
they're pals.
Yeah, they're friends. They are friends. All right, let's see where you and I differ, Eric.
What is this garbage list we're about to see? Oh.
Well, it's pretty similar. There's Cutie Pie chilling there. You know.
That's the only PNG that exists.
Yeah, that's the only one. But you know, he's just leaning up against Wild Turtle. They're having a
So
great
does that mean he is right below Wild Turtle, in between Arrow?
No, I just put him on the sidelines.
Oh, okay.
See, that's why his name is
benched.
horizontal.
He's
to the
benched.
thing. Yeah,
Oh,
he's chilling.
I didn't even see the text there.
There he is. He's having a great time. But yeah, again, we're pretty similar on the same page on this. I put Doublelift over Sneaky. I think Doublelift's upside, as always, is up there. And he was, for a long time, pretty dominant in North America in summer. And it just seems like in the playoffs and on the world stage, he takes a step back, whereas Sneaky becomes this monster when it comes to the big stage. But during an actual split, I think Doublelift is better. And if he gets on the same page with Olay, that's going to be a very explosive bot lane that can just make plays and take over in a 2v2 situation down bot. Whereas Sneaky and Smoothie generally sit back, and we all know the memes. Sneaky in lane, even though he's actually pretty decent in lane. Just anytime he gets caught out, people give him the old meme, which is understandable. But I think Doublelift is better. And then, like you said, the whole Cody Sun, I'll take Apollo trio. If you want to flip that in any order, I think it's perfectly reasonable. We've talked time and time again how Apollo is one of the better laning guys in the LCS. And Altec, when it comes to consistency with that ball lane of Altec and Adrian, I really do like that duo. But again, for a long time we were talking about Cody Sun as potentially being on the best bot lane in North America for summer split when he and Olay were a part of that Immortals team that was making waves and almost took first in summer. So just because he had a bad Worlds performance with some weird Tristana insect plays and getting caught out, that was his first time on a big international event. Give him a break. I think he'll step back into form with Aframu as a support and that little calming vibe with good communication. So I do think Cody Sun will take that 5th spot. And again, Arrow down low with Death Flea, chilling down with Cutie Pie, having a time. That's where we got. Yeah, just leaning up against it.
I will say AD carry position, pretty much the exact opposite of mid lane. There's only 2 imports in the AD carry role. It's all domestic talent, 80% of the guys there. And I think one of the things on that list that both of us might be wrong about in the split is I think a guy like Deathly might actually climb up a couple spots. And we might be saying, maybe we should have given him more credit. But I don't know why we would because he's unproven. But I think he'll prove himself to be maybe in that 8 range, 7 or 8. He might climb up a few spots as the split go on. But that Golden Guardians roster is still not that great. Not that great. So that might hold him back a bit.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Eric. Before we get to our last topic and we get to your questions, make sure you send in those questions. Send them in. We're going to have time to answer them.
Right now.
Don't wait. Queue them up so that the man behind the keyboard, who has no name, can...
He's the man behind the keyboard.
Can put him into the queue.
Warrior.
Yeah, that's right. Keyboard warrior. He flames us all the time in this document.
It's unbelievable.
He called me a moron not too long ago.
That's true. I saw it. I read it. I laughed.
Excellent. See, Eric, for a while now we've been joking about how in the NA LCS there's all these names that sound the same. You have Huni, you have Huhi, you have Sven and Sven, you have Xmithy and Mithy, you have Fly and High and FlyQuest.
We missed one.
We missed one. And that was P.O.B. and P.O.E. Of course, Power People and P.O.B.
Pretty good.
So that leads us to our brand new segment. It's a name game, and it's a game where we have names that sound the same.
What a game.
What a game.
What a heavens for. It's going to be a reoccurring.
That's right. At least 5 times.
At least 5 times.
Because that's all we have.
If you can think of any more names that sound very similar in the NA or EU LCS, be sure to send them in, write them in, and we'll use them. We'll steal them and claim them as our own.
That's right. Yeah. We will. So look forward to that. Make sure you do that because, it'll be great. So basically, we have a couple of, what do you call it, topics? Comparables. And Eric and I have to choose Power Evil or P.O.B. P.O.E. or P.O.B.
Nice.
We just need a new jingle.
We'll add the music.
If anyone has a jingle, send it over. And we'll steal it and make it our own.
Yeah, so P.O.E. P.O.B. jingles, names that sound the same. There's a lot of stuff you guys could be sending in.
Yes. So we got 5.
We got 5.
Let's start with
the easy one. Oh,
better KDA.
Better KDA
In 2018 spring.
I gotta go with P.O.B. just because he's likely going to be on the better team. There's going to be a lot of pressure on P.O.E. to perform on that Optic lineup because he is going to be the main carry and really the sole carry on that team, which means he might have to be a little overly aggressive to try and make some of these plays, which means he might die a little bit more, and he's going to be focused more from the jungler probably, so he's going to be more susceptible to dying. And I mean, P.O.B.'s a guy who plays pretty calm, cool, collected, and safe, and usually is on the upper tier of KDA, so I expect it to happen again.
Yeah, I also think P.O.B.
Team
will
P.O.B.
be the pick here. I mean, like you said, he just, on this Team Liquid, with the loaded roster, he doesn't have to do too much. Just hold his own in that mid lane. Don't give away any free kills. And then the rest of the team should be able to put these good team fights together where you take over. Whereas, I mean, Power of Evil on this Optic team, I feel like he's going to have to be the main carry. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him to make plays. And at least for the first split, I don't think it'll work out with this brand new roster of like no one who's even remotely played together before. So we'll see what comes. But I think they'll be losing a lot, and that'll cause Power of Evil's KDA, obviously, to be lower. More losses equals more deaths.
Unless you're a really good KDA player.
That's right. Unless you're a really good KDA player. All right.
Number 2.
Number 2.
P.O.B. wins round 1.
1-0.
That's right.
There you go.
P.O.B.'s on the left. Okay.
Sure. Remember that.
Okay.
Next. Better interviewee.
So this is like post-game, you know, so-and-so's team just won, and Avali comes up and he's asking a question. I think I got to give this one to my boy P.O.E. because he's got a lot of PR stuff that he's been dealing with lately, and, you know, based on some of that, I think he's got a higher chance of maybe saying something crazy or, you know, trying to defend himself or defend an idea. I think there's a better chance of him saying something ridiculous. But then again, that sweet, soothing, monotone voice of P.O.B. is, you can't discount that.
So you're taking Power View.
I'm taking P.O.E.
I'm going with the notorious one. Notorious P.O.B. Some of his stuff that he's done post-game already has been so entertaining, whether it was Doublelift going for that hug on Seraph and our P.O.B. just laughing hysterically when he got rejected.
The birth of a meme.
One of my favorite moments all time in League of Legends. But he's always full of memes and troll moments. He's willing to throw teammates under the bus. He's even started to trash talk a little bit. He was saying how he was going to smash Doublelift in the finals.
Yeah, what happened?
He lost. But,
oh, I see.
But it was still trash talk.
It still
doesn't matter
talk.
if you win or lose or you back it up.
The fact that you're trash talking is fine. I think P.O.E. is a guy who might fully embrace this villain role, and I think he should go with it. Just fully embrace it. Go as the villain, a la LeBron James on the Miami Heat. Have the entire league against P.O.E. and then just trash talk and, you know, start wearing a villain's mask maybe. And you'd have some pretty good post-game interviews. I
mean, your name is Power of Evil. You're suited up pretty well.
That's true. The problem is he might not be doing many post-game interviews because they interview the team that wins. So he might, that's a few points lost for him there, but when he does get to do them,
nice.
I think they'll be good.
It'll be one really good interview.
Really good. He'll have rehearsed it and he'll be ready to go.
Yeah. All right. So no points there because we tied or we disagreed.
True.
Is that how this works? We didn't really talk about the points.
We didn't talk about the rules.
No.
Yeah, that makes sense. So still 1-0 P.O.B.
Good system. Good system. All right. Next is bigger contract. This one's pretty rigged.
This one.
But
it's pretty one-sided.
Is it paid by Steve? Or is it
that's true.
that sweet, sweet Optic money?
That's true. Now, P.O.B. is, in fact, paid by Steve, which means it is a healthy lump sum. Now, let's just say, get this out in the open, we don't know what either of them are making.
No, we
don't know what the numbers are. But based on recent events, you got to feel like P.O.E. is making some serious cash. Optic has kind of said they didn't really have as big a budget as most of the other teams. So maybe they spent a lot of that budget on P.O.E. and that explains the rest of their roster. So I'm going with P.O.E., but I think it might be closer than people think.
Yeah, I'll take Power of Euros on this one too. I do think, I mean, you look at the Optic roster and you're like, where did all this money go to? Zig? No. Acadian? No. Lemon? Definitely not. So it must be Power of Evil. And for him to turned down Misfits, a team that made it to Worlds last year, was the best performing Western team. I mean, there must have been a really sweet offer on the table. It means a lot of money. A lot of money for Power of Evil. P.O.B. Belter, again, this is a pretty star-studded lineup. I don't know what kind of budget Team Liquid had. Must have been pretty massive.
No budget.
But if the rumors of Impact getting $1 million are legit, then who knows how much there was left over for P.O.B. Belter.
And by the way, if Impact is actually making $1 million, does that mean he's the highest paid guy on the team? Because he shouldn't be. He's probably the worst guy on the team. Possibly. Which is not a shot on
Not
Impact.
a shot.
That roster is insane. And also, no shots at P.O.E. Playing for the money. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No.
He's laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
All the way. He can't stop laughing.
Money in the bank.
It ain't easy. There it is.
There
all right,
go.
what's the next one? So it's 1-1.
1-1. Nice. Way to keep score. What's left? Which one should we do next, Eric?
There's two good ones. Do the 1v1 one.
Yeah, okay. Later or now?
Right now.
Okay, right now. If your life was on the line, and you had one guy to represent you in an all or nothing 1v1 on the winter map, Howling Abyss.
That's the one.
Who would you take? P.O.E.?
Is it best of or just one?
One.
Just one. One off?
One off.
I'm taking my boy P.O.B. P.O.E. didn't look fantastic.
He lost to Jisoo.
In that one, he lost to Jisoo. To be fair, Exhausted Night Pantheon is just full cheese, and that's not bad to lose.
He just had the recall, dude.
That's true. But P.O.B. has been training in these 1v1s against the greatest Michael I'm a Cutie Pie Santana. So he's the best AD carry in NA coming into the split. So when you train against the best, you're ultimately going to be the best. I got to go with my boy P.O.B. I trust him with my life.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking at the thing.
Yeah, I figured.
That's it. But I was still paying attention, don't worry.
Yeah, sure. Who'd I pick?
P.O.B. Belter.
Nice.
Nice. Got it. Lucky guess. I'm going to take P.O.B. Belter as well. I mean, you look at All-Stars, the track record of Power of Evil is an 0-1 record. That's not good if my life is on the line. I don't want to die.
You don't want to die?
No.
Well, I mean, P.O.B. Belter's track record is 0-0. He's never played.
It's better.
He's never played. He could choke.
Maybe you take the experience of Power of Evil. But, I mean, he was greedy. He didn't recall.
He didn't recall.
When he could have. He had that game in the bag. Choked.
Choked.
I don't want it.
You shouldn't be allowed to recall in those, by the way.
You
I
don't
want
think
full
so?
ARAM rules.
Okay. That's pretty crazy. You have to die to recall, which is a problem in 1v1 situations.
When you die, you lose.
Yeah.
So we're both taking P.O.B.?
Yeah, I guess I'm in the lead here.
2-1.
Wow, it's going to be tough to come back from that one.
Going to be tough, especially with this last topic.
Yeah. And the last topic, better name. P.O.B., real name, is Eugene. Eugene Park. Wow. Incredible. Or Power of Evil.
Is that incredible?
Yes.
It's an incredible name.
It
Eugene Park.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Great. Or Power of Evil. Tristan
Try and say it.
Schrog. I definitely screwed up.
I don't think that's right.
You say it.
No. I don't want to butcher his last name.
Okay.
But he is German. It's a very German last name. So I should be able to get it because my name's German.
Wow.
But I'm not going to say it because I'm going to look like a fool like you did.
Nice.
So I'm just going with Tristan or Eugene. Now, I will say both are pretty unique names. You don't hear either of them that often.
No.
I don't know. I don't think I know anyone named Eugene or Tristan.
I know one guy named Tristan.
Yeah, what kind of person is he?
He's a Yu-Gi-Oh character.
Okay. So you don't know him.
I do.
Eugene kind of sounds like an 85-year-old man. But I mean, every Eugene had to be a child at one point.
That's correct.
So
that checks out mathematically.
Eugene, really, I just think of Eugene Levy. Thick eyebrows. I don't think P.O.B. has thick eyebrows.
No.
Can't confirm that. But it's hard to go against Eugene because it's such a hilarious name. Hilarious in a good way. Tristan, it sounds a little bit elevated. So I might give a slight edge to Eugene.
I just love that whenever anyone on P.O.B. Belter's team refers to him nowadays, it's not P.O.B. Belter, it's not P.O.B., it's just straight Eugene. People call Doublift Peter sometimes, they'll call him Double, you know, it's a mix.
No one calls him Yi Lang.
No one calls him by his real name. I think it's Eugene. I think it goes to P.O.B. Belter.
It's tight, though. It's a close race.
It's a close race.
I do like the name Tristan, and the fact that I'm scared to pronounce his last name, it's got to be some points for him, or really just points lost for me.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah. So I get -1.
So who wins this whole thing?
That's P.O.B.
3-1?
I mean, P.O.E. had to 2-0 this last round
to
send it to a tiebreaker. And if it went to a tiebreaker, we were not prepared. We don't have
we don't have a tiebreaker. It would have been awful.
Good thing. Congrats to P.O.B. winning the inaugural same name game.
Yeah.
Name game, same name game.
Wow.
So congrats to Eugene Park. And we might be revisiting these later on. Well, we will do 4 other ones with different names. But, you know, maybe later on in the split, we'll throw out some PoE and P.O.B. stats or something. And PoE or P.O.B., you never know.
PoE or P.O.B.
We're going to record that later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Questions?
Questions. Send them in. We've got time.
What are you pointing at?
The people.
Oh,
The people.
getting their attention, I see.
Yeah, you have to point.
That's true.
All right. First off, some backlash
Okay.
over our rankings because
That's
they
fair.
suck, Eric.
That's fair.
Some people would have put Febvin number 1,
Number 1.
which is gutsy. Ballsy in his very first split in North America with a brand new team. I'm okay with it.
You were thinking of it.
I was. It was in my
You were
mind.
thinking of it. I almost maybe slid him up to number 2. I mean, the case could be made. Like I said, he was probably the best performing mid laner in EU last split. Above Perks, above PoE, above guys like Caps, anyone like that. He had one of the most, and it was kind of under the radar too on H2K. But yeah, he was fantastic. And I never even thought about putting him lower than 3rd. There is definitely some debate within those top 3 guys. I just think Jensen is going to do more Jensen things like he did in 2017 summer.
Yeah, there's also some P.O.B. out there love. Nothing
love.
wrong with P.O.B. out there love. Some people saying he should be higher. I
What
think
do
we
we
both
have
had
him
him 5th. I just don't think you can put him above the Euro 3 and Huhi. I think those 4 guys they have to be above P.O.B. out there. I mean, you look at what Huhi does for CLG, and he's this guy who his impact on the map is insane. When it comes to roaming, he's the best without a doubt in North America. I think even above guys like Jensen. When it comes to roaming straight up, Huhi is above and away the best when it comes to whether it's Aurelion Sol, his Talia. Both of those champs became like must-bans last year. And the pressure he draws just in the ban phase alone is so valuable for CLG. So I think what Huhi brings is above P.O.B. out there. Again, it's not by much, but I just don't think you can put P.O.B. out there above 5th.
Yeah, I think the main thing to look at there is those top 4 guys are all likely going to be the main carry on their squad heading into spring. P.O.B. out there probably going to take a backseat to double lift because, I mean, basically everyone, even Bjergsen at times is taking a backseat to double lift. Now maybe Sven and Mithy, Sven becomes the focal point of this new TSN lineup and Bjergsen steps back a bit. But I think for the time being, those top 4 guys are all going to be the featured main carries on their squad. And P.O.B. out there probably won't be. So it's hard to put him above any of those 4 guys unless they really poop the bed, which they might. And then when we revisit these rankings, you can say, yeah, look at P.O.B. Should have been number 1.
Should have been number 1. And some people saying PoE is too low. Why is he not top 3? Why is he below Huhi? Same reason. I mean, even during the split with Misfits, he wasn't like stellar. He really had a showing at Worlds in the playoffs down the stretch. But for a long time, the Misfits team wasn't that great. They were mediocre. And I just think, again, I mentioned Huhi's roaming. His ability to affect the map is higher than PoE's. And on an Optic team that doesn't look too stellar, it's a lot of pressure on Power of Evil. And I just think it's too much for him to really have a stand-up performance. He's kind of weighted down. He's stuck in Elo hell. not so bad. That's an exaggeration.
He's playing with wrist and ankle weights throughout the split. Yeah. But I mean, even when Misfits was performing well, I don't think he was the best performing guy on that team. I don't even think he was the 2nd best performing guy on that team. I mean, guys, Maxlor really stepped up in a huge way. Hans Sama was fantastic for pretty much their whole playoff run and into Worlds, and that took a lot of pressure off PoE. I don't think he was super standout in a lot of these games. There were some of the games where he's doing his weird Nashor's Tooth, Rod of Ages, Orianna, where he's just really not present in that game, and I still don't really like that build. But listen, he's still a great mid laner and is still going to be fantastic. The best player on Optic by far, I expect, during this split. But I mean, that's some stiff competition in that mid lane going forward. And I just think he didn't show as much as some of these other guys did in the previous split. And he's on a weaker roster. So That's why he's hanging out in the middle.
By far, right? You
By
said
far.
by far.
Did I?
Nice to meet you.
Forgiven it.
You did. I appreciate that. Now, ADC responses, of course. People think Cody is too high. Don't think he's that good without Olay. We put him, what, 5? Again, he could be 6, 7, whatever combo of the alt tech Apollo order is okay.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7. Mix it up.
Do whatever you want with it, but yeah. They said without Olay, might not be as good. That's possible.
I mean,
but was Olay that great in lane? He was more of a playmaker once it came out of it.
Yeah, and I mean, Afro isn't. I know he had a slump for basically a full season, but I mean, he's not a horrible support. It's not like it's a massive downgrade to be laning with Afro over Olay. I think Cody Sun's getting a little bit too much flack from that World's performance. Just keep this guy's. The turnaround from spring to summer was absolutely incredible. This guy's only been playing competitive for like a year.
Yeah.
So don't sleep on him yet.
No. And then some people thinking that Arrow and Wild Turtle are too low. Again, it's part of a team thing. And, I mean, Arrow slumped severely last year, and we mentioned his poor laning.
A long way from spring split MVP Arrow.
Yeah. And Turtle still has the upside, sure, but he's still a bit crazy. Still a bit nuts for me.
It's hard to go against that smile. He's got a fantastic smile. But, I mean, who are you going to put them ahead of? You're saying put them ahead of either Altec, Apollo, or Cody Sun, and I'm just not sure that I can do that. I think those teams are going to be performing better, and a lot of it will be because of that bottom lane. So I think Wild Turtle will probably be the best guy on FlyQuest. Maybe Anda has a crazy rookie split, but I mean, he's probably going to be the featured guy on FlyQuest, so he might have a chance to kind of leap up in these standings if he is getting the opportunity to carry a lot of these games, but I see these other guys, Cody Sun, Altec, Apollo, being better than him. And I love me some Wild Turtle.
I know you do. You're a big fan. And then finally, for the 80 carry ranking, some people hate me for putting Doublelift over Sneaky.
They hate you.
I think that's
Hate's a strong word.
Oh, that's true.
Don't throw hate around lightly.
I'm not. It's the case. They told me.
Okay.
They've texted me.
They texted me.
They got my number. Yeah.
Wow.
That was kind of creepy.
You shouldn't have put that in there.
I know. That was a mistake. But I think the whole Sneaky thing is still a bit of a recency bias and international performance based. When you look at the whole split, I think Doublelift from summer was a better performer. And I think you'll have a pretty standout split again with Team Liquid. His Vengeance Tour of 2018, going back against CLG, TSM, trying to show that he deserves to be the #1. I think that's really going to motivate this guy. And I think C9 is going to get off to a slow start. And again, this is 2018 spring rankings. It's not what we saw at the end of 2017. It's none of that. So all the flash memes and all that garbage about Doublelift, I'm not taking that into account. I think he's going to have a great 2018 spring split and outperform Sneaky. Again, I had Sneaky third. It's not like it was outrageous.
How is it outrageous?
I know, wow. You put him one spot above Sneaky. Ugh.
To be fair, yeah, heading in, before playoffs started last year in summer, Sneaky and Smoothie, that was the main question mark on that Cloud9 roster going forward. And some people were like, oh man, maybe Sneaky doesn't come back next year. He's probably the most replaceable guy on C9. And then after Worlds, people were not singing that show tune at all.
No.
I'm just saying, going into this 2018 split, Riot must be foaming at the mouth for all these features that they're going to get to do, all these pregame hype videos. Literally, pretty much any matchup in the league, it's going to have some storyline that they can follow, which is great for the league. It's great.
But if you don't think Doublelift is mad about being kicked off TSM for Sven and Mythic.
Oh, he mad.
He's going to show some things this year.
Why you have to be mad? It's only game.
Because I got booed off of my team.
Oh, I see.
It's a good reason. All right, 10 minutes. Let's get through as many questions as we can there. I'm Matt Best, old friend of mine.
Ooh.
How's it going, buddy? What kind of hat are you wearing? This is a Overwatch League hat. It's the LA Gladiators, representing my boy Bishu, old League of Legends player. Shout out to Bishu.
Yeah, you know, I gave you an opportunity to talk about the hat off the top of the show, and you just...
This show's not about me, Eric. It's about the people.
Well, now the show's about your hat right now.
Well, it was a question.
Yeah, I know.
You got to answer the questions.
That's true.
It's
a nice hat.
Thank you, man.
No worries.
Thanks. What team do you think come up with more upsets this split? Who's got upsets?
Echo Fox.
You took my answer.
That's right. I'm in your head. Your mind.
Nice.
Yeah, Echo Fox is the team with the highest upside combined with the lowest downside. Does that make sense?
No, kind of.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, they could beat the top team and then lose to the bottom team, I feel like, on any given week. So there could be some upsets there, and they could be on the receiving end of some upsets, I imagine.
Yeah, that's why I think they'll finish in the middle of the pack because, again, their ceiling is tremendous, but their floor is also pretty low.
They'll pull the classic, beat the teams you shouldn't beat, and lose to the teams that you should beat.
The old play to your opponent's level.
Classic move.
Classic move. Not bad. But yeah, I'm going with Echo Fox. And someone says Echo Fox most underrated team in North America. I don't know if they're underrated. I think people understand their potential. It's just when you look at this roster, you know that there are players who have in the past shown tilt problems, attitude problems. Is Phoenix still on that level he was when he was a star on Team Liquid? Can All Take an Agent put together a consistent split for the entirety of it? Because I know they came out to Dignitas late, put up a great performance, but then in the playoffs it kind of faltered off a bit. So there's a lot of questions. And that's why I don't think they're underrated. There's just a lot of cues.
And, I mean, when we get into our power rankings, which we'll be doing in the coming days and weeks, but, like, you just look at the playoff picture and only 6 teams are getting in. There's going to be at least one solid team that's going to be on the outside looking in. And Echo Fox is probably teetering right on that edge with teams like 100 Thieves and stuff like that. It's competitive. It's going to be a competitive split.
It is. SHA Chases, what do you guys think about NA losing to SEA, a team that was put together at the last minute, and they couldn't even speak the same language? It's not a good look, but again, this whole tournament was kind of a farce. This competitive thing with no prize pool, nothing to play for. All these guys were like, I'd rather be on vacation than here playing with people who aren't even my real team. They didn't really scrim together, didn't practice much. And I think when it comes to the actual GPL region, it was like they had the most to prove, the most to play for. These guys who weren't even all-stars. They were no names coming into this from most regions, guys like Jisoo and whatnot. So you come in, you have a lot to prove. You want to put together good performance, led by Levi. They managed to do so and actually advance into the group stage. So for North America, it adds to the meme, being terrible at international performance, whatnot, but it's really not a big deal.
I mean, the good news is the NA-EU rivalry is at a standstill after this tournament. They were both pretty poopy. But yeah, you can't take anything seriously from this event. And I think if this is the approach Riot's going to take going forward, then they got to dial it back and just make it more goofy again so that it sounds like these players really don't want to have to go through a week or so of scrims in the midst of their off season, their vacation time to come and prep for this event. Just have them come in and play, God forbid, Poro King or Earth or something going on in there like they did. So these guys can just kind of roll in and play, even if they haven't played the game in a couple of weeks and they don't need any of this prep. But don't take anything too literally or take anything seriously about the outcomes of this event. But I will say that's great for the GPL squad that they had such a nice run and a great ending to Bebe's career for the LMS, almost winning the whole thing, 5 games for the LPL. But this does cement Uzi as the greatest player of all time.
It does not, but that's okay. 5 minutes left. Let's speed round this.
Power through. Let's go.
I know you love speed round. P.O.B. said he wants to go to Worlds again. What do you think his chances are of going back to Worlds with his new team?
1%.
I was going to match that.
No, 2.
Wow.
2%.
Oh, let's stick with 1.
Double it up.
It's very low. I don't see it happening. Who is your way too early MVP of the spring split?
Way too early MVP of the spring split. You could give it, if like Clutch Gaming finishes 3rd or something, maybe Febby gets one.
Yeah, that's one got to keep an eye on. And who knows? Maybe a guy like Xmithy could lead Team Liquid. Who knows? We'll see.
Maybe.
We will see. Random question. Any news on Mad Life? No, sir. Not a lick.
I think he might be gone from the competitive scene. Didn't make it to All-Stars this year because he wasn't playing the LCK. There's no Challenger Series All-Stars. So no, don't know about Mad Life.
Doesn't look good. Of the 4 new teams, the only one I think will actually be good is Clutch Gaming. Thoughts? I think Clutch will be good.
I think they'll be the best of the 4 teams, and 100 Thieves probably scrapping with Echo Fox for one of those final playoff spots.
Yeah, I think 100 Thieves has the potential to be a pretty solid team as well. So Clutch, I agree, will be pretty solid. GGS and Optic, no thank you. Not a fan. What's with Andy? He says, what happened to Santorin? They're not making an LCS team that I'm aware of unless it's EU LCS, but I guess there are still a couple of possibilities. And I haven't heard any Academy whispers yet.
I mean, only 2 teams have a fully fleshed out Academy roster. Wouldn't be surprised if you saw him ending up on one of these academy squads, and maybe, depending on who he's behind, gets a chance to start. But, I mean, this guy deserves to at least be on an academy team.
Yeah.
At least.
And he also says, what casters do you like the most? I'm a big P.O.B. Deficio Dream Team guy.
Like P.O.B., like Deficio. Quick shot.
Quick shot, of course, yes.
Big fan of. You know, I used to kind of get annoyed by Jat, but he's growing on me a bit. You know, some of his stuff's pretty good. Who else is there? There's a lot of people.
They're all solid.
They're all pretty good. There's so many now, I can't even keep track.
Yeah, especially in North America. They just keep whipping them out there.
There's so many.
LoL Sup for life. Sneaky has gotten through groups at Worlds the most times of all Western players. Who will be the next Western player to make it 4 times? That's a lot of Worlds down the road. I mean, what? P.O.B.'s already been there? I'd have to do a lot of research on this because I don't know the numbers off the top of my head.
No, P.O.B.'s never gotten out.
Out of groups, you're right, yeah. Yeah, so I was just thinking Worlds in general.
I mean, it's basically Bjergsen once. Wild Turtle once.
There's a lot to go. We got to look like 5 years down the road here.
Yeah, I mean, you could pick anyone. I picked Deathly.
God. Stop.
He's going to get out 5 times.
Make it stop. You gotta pick someone who's young and still. I know you chose Deathly. I don't think that's correct.
It could be a Western guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Perks.
Taking Perks? Maybe
Perks.
Maxlore.
Taking Perks. Starting at 0. Started from the bottom. Then he'll get there.
Yeah. All right. Super rapid fire time. Where's the love for Apollo? Man, check out our more recent videos. We've been.
I love Apollo.
Giving him a hell of a time. A good time. A hell of a good time. Yeah, we're fans.
I mean, you could easily say maybe he's fifth best AD.
Yeah, he could.
He could be.
Yeah,
I like Apollo.
We do. Good guy. If Fly got Huni, Rain over Wild Turtle and Adrian with Dylan as coach, and Fox got Flame, Smithy, Cody, and Ole with Sung as coach, which team would P.O.B. sign with? Same money. Sounds like a riddle.
Yeah. Oh,
Basically, his former teammates.
Right. So who was on Echo Fox?
Flame, Smithy, Cody, and Ole.
Oh, okay. So is he playing with which iteration of Immortals is he playing with? I feel like he's better pals with Ole, and Echo Fox seems like a super cool organization because Rick Fox is cool.
Good answer.
So he's going there.
Will Faker ever leave SKT?
No. If you've read that article, Prey was talking about Faker and said he was shocked that the only clothes Faker has are SKT gear and white T-shirts.
He literally can't survive if he's on SKT.
He will be naked if he's not on SKT. He'll just have white T-shirts, no pants. So he has to stay on SKT.
All right, here we go. A few more. Can this be the year TSM doesn't go to finals?
If you're going to pick a split, it's probably this spring one when they have 3/5 a new roster, a whole bunch of new teams, super competitive. If I would pick spring to be the one, probably not summer. I think by summer they'll have stuff on track and you'll be seeing them in the finals. But spring's probably your best bet.
I still think they'll be there at the end of the day.
It's probably like, to give a made-up percentage that means nothing, probably like 70-30 that they'll be there. That's what I'll say.
I got you. I know it's 3, but we'll do a couple more questions real quick. Where do you think Clutch Gaming will end up in spring split? Give me 4th.
4th? I like 3rd. But we'll be giving you official power rankings soon, don't you worry.
Yes. And one more question. How do you see Sven performing? He's smashing solo queue in North America. Man, I think he'll be fantastic on TSM. I know Perks came out and said that he was like one of the more selfless players he's ever played with, which is huge in an AD carry. Doesn't always demand those resources. He knows if a teammate is in a better position to carry, he'll be like, you go get that wave. I'll be cool. And he's a great team fighter, so I think he's going to be outstanding.
Perks also said he can't wait to go to MSI and watch Sharnan and Wadid smash Sven and Nithis. So I'm not so sure about that. But yeah, I think Sven's going to be the best performing AD in NA this split because he has been top 2 consistently his whole career in EU, and he's one of the few bot lanes that's still with his laning partner from last split, so they already have that synergy going. They're going to be good.
Yeah. One last thing. It's time for our weekly DX Racer plug.
Of course.
Guys, good chair. Move your head, Eric. Show the logo.
Sorry, I got a big head.
Wow, look at that.
DX
so
Racer.
if you want one, they're very comfy. Eric and I can
comfy.
vouch for them. DXRacer.com. 15% off with the code SHOTCallers. Shot callers. One word.
It's plural. There's an S on there.
There
Don't
is.
forget the S.
That's a port. Take a screenshot.
Take a screenshot. Oh,
it's gone. Don't take a screenshot anymore. If we didn't get to your questions, I apologize. Eric is scarred forever that we didn't get to all your questions. But
you can send them to Twitter.
You can. @_SC Esports. See it? It's down there.
Keep pointing. Keep pointing.
It's down there. Or you can tweet at Eric directly at I_am_Kummel or me.
No underscore.
At
go ahead.
Matt Hempstead, 1T.
1T.
Probably can't spell my last name anyway.
Yeah,
it doesn't
come
matter.
on. That was a
it's
bad
in the
plug for
probably
your
in the
Twitter.
comments. Yeah, it wasn't the best. Like us, subscribe us, follow us on Twitter, all that good stuff. That's all I got. Anything else?
Again, power rankings will be coming out. Let us know why you think our position rankings are stupid. And if you can think of any names that sound familiar in the EU or NA LCS, tweet them at Shotcallers Esports or Matt or myself. You can see our Twitters on the channel and let us know. We'll talk about them.
We will.
We will.
But no more talking today.
No.
We're
Until
leaving.
Monday.
Not till Monday. Have a nice weekend, everybody.